As you can see, the plants on the right are at least triple the size of the ones on the left. The differences aren't just in the height. Look at the stems. They are twice as thick. Look at the foliage. It's a deep, vibrant green, while the control group is already turning yellow. And the most important part? These large plants are already exploding with flowers and fruit, while the smaller ones haven't produced a single tomato yet. Most gardeners are taught that the only way to get this kind of growth is to buy expensive, high-concentration NPK fertilizers from a big box store. They tell you that if your plants are yellow, you just need more chemical nitrogen. But the truth is, the agrochemical industry makes billions by selling you fast food for plants that eventually kills the very soil you're trying to build. Your tomatoes don't just want chemical salts, they crave biology. Today, I'm showing you what a veteran gardener friend of mine calls the Miracle Growth Elixir. It's a simple, homemade concoction made from 4 kitchen staples you probably already have in your pantry. It's not just a fertilizer, it's a soil biology activator that triggers what scientists call the microbial cascade effect. If you've ever struggled with blossom end rot, stunted growth, or thin, spindly stems, this is the solution you've been waiting for. I'm going to show you the exact formula and the scientific reason why it works, but you have to pay attention, because if you skip the activation step, this mixture is almost useless. Why do so many tomato plants fail to reach their genetic potential? To understand that, you have to understand that tomatoes are Stark's error, heavy feeders. They have an insatiable appetite for nutrients, particularly during 2 critical phases: the rapid stem growth stage and the onset of flowering. This phase determines your entire season's yield. If your plant is weakened or nutrient deficient at this stage, it will almost never fully recover, no matter how much you fertilize later. You'll see yellow leaves, slow growth, and very few flowers. But here is the problem. Many gardeners think that if they have rich soil and they water regularly, the plant should be fine. But plants cannot eat most nutrients in the soil directly. Think of the soil like a locked pantry. The food is there, but the plant doesn't have the key. That key is the soil microbiome, the billions of beneficial bacteria and fungi that live around the roots. These microbes interact with the roots in a symbiotic relationship, breaking down organic matter and minerals to make them bioavailable. When you use synthetic fertilizers, you often bypass this system. You feed the plant directly, but you neglect the microbes. Over time, your soil becomes a biological desert. The roots stop growing as aggressively because they don't have their microbial partners. This elixir is designed to fix that. It doesn't just feed the plant, it wakes up the entire ecosystem, creating a nutrient delivery system that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are talking about a fundamental shift from a chemical-dependent garden to a self-sustaining biological powerhouse. Let's break down the ingredients for our 1-gallon master batch. Each one serves a specific scientific purpose. Ingredient number 1 is active dry yeast. This is the engine. It isn't a direct fertilizer, but it feeds on sugars and multiplies rapidly. As it does, it releases essential enzymes, organic compounds, and vitamins, specifically the B-complex vitamins. This creates a burst of life in the soil that feeds beneficial bacteria and fungi, speeding up the decomposition of organic matter already in your soil. It literally unlocks nutrients that were previously stuck. When you bring your soil alive with yeast, you see huge results because you are creating a biological workforce that never stops working. Ingredient number 2 is buttermilk. Every tomato grower fears blossom end rot. This isn't usually caused by a lack of calcium in the soil, but a failure of the plant to take up that calcium during fruit development. Buttermilk provides a biological delivery system for calcium, along with lactic acid and bacteria. This strengthens the plant's cell walls and ensures that the calcium actually makes it into the developing fruit. It's your insurance policy against a ruined harvest. Ingredient number 3 is molasses or raw sugar. Microorganisms are like little machines. They need fuel to function. Molasses is our high-octane energy source. While you can use plain white sugar or cane sugar as a substitute, molasses is superior because it contains trace minerals like iron, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. This feeds the microbes longer and sustains that microbial cascade for a healthier, more resilient soil ecosystem. Without this fuel, the microbes won't have the energy to unlock the nutrients your tomatoes are begging for. Ingredient number 4 is baking soda. This is our pH modifier and fungal control agent. By slightly raising the pH at the soil surface, it creates an environment that is less favorable for fungal pathogens. This reduces the disease pressure on your plants and stabilizes the root zone conditions. It's a simple addition that acts as a powerful protector for your vulnerable root systems. If you want to take this to a professional level, you can also add a half teaspoon of honey for additional energy or half a teaspoon of garlic powder to naturally repel pests and soil-borne fungi. These are the pro hacks that make the difference between a good garden and an extraordinary one. If you just mix these ingredients in cold water and pour them on your garden, you are wasting your time. The yeast needs to be activated correctly. Step 1 is the temperature. You need 1 gallon of lukewarm water between 90 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the sweet spot. If the water is too cold, the yeast stays dormant. If it's over 100 degrees, you will kill the microbes before they even touch the soil. Avoid chlorinated city water if possible. Use rainwater or spring water for the best results, as chlorine is designed to kill the very bacteria we are trying to grow. Step 2 is adding the sugar. Add 2 tablespoons of molasses or sugar and stir until it is completely dissolved. The microbes need to find this fuel immediately. Step 3 is the yeast. Sprinkle 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast across the surface of the water. Do not stir it immediately. By letting it float, you increase the surface area for the reaction with the air and the sugar. Step 4 is the fermentation. Let the mixture sit for at least 2 hours, but for the absolute best results, use the overnight method. When you return, you should see a thick, foamy, beer-like head on the water. This is proof that your elixir is alive and active. If you don't see that foam, your yeast was either dead or your water was the wrong temperature. Do not use it if it doesn't foam, it won't work. Safety warning. If you use a mason jar, keep the lid loose. The fermentation process releases gases that can cause an explosion if the pressure builds up too high. A loose lid or a cloth towel secured with a rubber band is much safer. Step 5 is the final additions. Once activated and foamy, slowly stir in 100 milliliters, which is about half a cup, of buttermilk, and your 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Stir it gently to ensure everything is evenly distributed. You now have a concentrated biological bomb. But as with any powerful tool, you have to apply it correctly to avoid root shock or microbial overload. Rule number 1. Water first. Never apply this mixture to bone-dry soil. Give your garden a nice, light watering with plain water first. This primes the soil and prevents the roots from taking in too much of the concentrated mix at once. Rule number 2. Respect the growth stage. For seedlings, use only a few drops per cell. Do not overload them or they may die. For young plants up to 1 foot tall, use about 1/4 to 1/2 cup once or twice a week. For established or flowering plants, you can move up to 1 full cup poured directly at the soil base. Rule number 3. Avoid the foliage. Do not water the leaves or directly on the main stem coming out of the ground. Target the soil area about 1/4 inch away from the stem. This ensures the root system can grow into the nutrient zone without causing bacterial overload or disease on the foliage. Rule number 4. Timing. Apply this early in the morning or late in the evening right around sunset. Avoid the midday heat when the plant is most stressed from heat and dryness. To take your harvest to the professional level, add 2 final ingredients to your batch. First, 1 teaspoon of wood ash for a hit of potassium and trace minerals. Second, 1 teaspoon of Epsom salt for magnesium. This results in greener leaves and stronger photosynthesis. The extra potassium gives you bigger, sweeter tomatoes instead of acidic ones.